Frick, are you kidding me?
Trapping all damn day, just flood my wrist, yeah, that's life. Can't never leave the crib unless you got that stick, yeah, that's life. She do a little strange for a little bit of change, that's life. Heard he lost his life for a little bit of fame, that's life. That's life, yeah, that's life. That's life, that's life. That's life, yeah, that's life. Yeah, that's life, yeah, that's life. That's life, yeah, that's life. That's life, that's life. That's life, yeah, that's life. Yeah, that's life, yeah, that's life.
Frick, are you kidding me?
Trapping all damn day, just flood my wrist, yeah, that's life. Can't never leave the crib unless you got that stick, yeah, that's life. She do a little strange for a little bit of change, that's life. Heard he lost his life for a little bit of fame, that's life. That's life, yeah, that's life. That's life, that's life. That's life, yeah, that's life. Yeah, that's life, yeah, that's life.
I'm even silly with the government official. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling? Jay White, first name, last name. Welcome to the Federal Code Summit. I'm here. We're going to get it in. I'm all gas, no brakes. So you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. So everybody that's online, if you don't have your laptops in front of you and you're on your phone, just pull your laptops out because we're going to go. One of the first things we're going to talk about is a little bit about me. I'm your host, right? Jay White, first name, last name. I'm going to give you a little bit about my background. But because our time is so short, I'm going to be quick. So I started doing federal government contracting from the gas station. A lot of people know about that story, but if you don't know, here it is. My homeboy walked up to the gas station where I was working at in 2008, and he said, hey, I'm going to get federal government contracts with trucking. Had no clue what main man was talking about. That's cool and all. I said, yo, he told me when he get off work, when I get off to call him. I said, all right, I got you. But when I got off work and I called him, he was locked up. He got locked up in the federal prison system that night. So I went down a rabbit hole of YouTube University, just trying to figure it out. And so it took me 3 years to win my first federal government contract. Now, when I won my first one in 2011, I won for $125. Now, some of y'all gurus online and in here, it's like $125. That ain't no bread. But I wasn't doing the work for it. So if I ain't doing the work and I'm getting an extra $125, I was good. Took my mom to Sizzler and everything. We was eating good. That's how old I am. I'm Sizzler old. So we was having a ball. But my next contract I won in 2 months later was for $7,000 a month to me for the next 3 years. Now y'all tell me, was I at the gas station, yes or no? I'm out of there. I'm going to answer it for you. I'm gone. No more gas station. Now, today, 2022, my company has been awarded over 250 plus federal government contracts for work that I'm not doing. Currently, I have 42 contracts. 32 of them are 4 years and better. That's 32 streams of income in one industry called the federal government, which I'm going to get into right now. So if y'all ready, tell me y'all ready, and then we're going to jump right into it. Y'all ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Here we go. So my goal overall today is to inform everybody that the federal government, as the middleman, is not hard. It's extremely easy. But most people that talk about federal government contracting, state level and local level, they make it extremely hard. All you have to do is this. Get an LLC, get a DUNS number, get your EIN number, and you ready. The first thing I want you to write down, if you're at the crib, if you're at home, I'm sorry I called it the crib, but if you're at the crib or if you're at home, I want you to write down sam.gov. Now, most people, when they have anything in terms of a webinar, a workshop, they're going to give you information that you already know about. That crap is crazy. I'm going to give you information that you can take from here and then you start to execute. So I want you to write down sam.gov. And I'm go over my goal again throughout this. My goal is to let you know that doing federal government contracting as the middle person is not hard. You don't have to be niche down. You don't have to worry about what you can do for the federal government. Because remember, the mindset isn't about what you can do. The mindset is about what you can manage. Can I manage this federal government contract, and or can I manage the company that's going to do the work on this federal government contract? All right. And here's a quick example. Has anybody taken a car to the auto mechanic within the past 30 days? All right. Anybody in here took their car to the auto mechanic in the past 30 days? All right, peep gang, check this out. So when you went to the auto mechanic and you asked for an oil change, and you say, hey, man, I just want an oil change. And he said, all right. When he come back, he got a whole rack of stuff that's wrong with your jacked up car. You need new tires, you need a windshield, you need a new transmission, you need a new engine. And you're like, yo, oh, that's cool and all. I just need an oil change. What did you just do? You just project manage that auto mechanic that's been doing their job for the past 10, 15 years. It's the same with the federal government. I can project manage any company once I know what the expectations are from the federal government. The federal government tells me what they need from me. Guess what I do? I tell a subcontractor, hey, look, check this out. This is what I need from y'all. And anybody can be the best echo. So that's our overall goal today, all right? So, peep gang, your boy got a clicker. I'm clicking left and right out here in these streets. All right, here we go. If you stay to the end, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be knowledgeable. Straight like that. If you stay to the end, you're going to be knowledgeable. So if you at the crib and you're in the kitchen cooking, them kids going crazy in the background, you know what I'm talking about, them kids going wild. Change their diapers right now. Go ahead on and sit them down. Put, I don't know, Barney, whatever the newest cartoon is, whatever that is, put them in front of that, because if you stay to the end, you're going to be knowledgeable. You're going to be able to at least, bare minimum, understand how to read solicitations, okay? That's if you stay to the end. So since we're ready and we're ready to get going, here we go. Everybody that's already got their laptops out, I told everybody to go to sam.gov. What we need to start doing is effectively understanding how to break this website down, because there's a lot of websites out here that go over what solicitations are and bringing out different solicitations. Sam.gov is the only source to go to, because every other resource pulls their solicitations from sam.gov. I don't care what you heard. I don't care who you listening to, sam.gov. So we're going to effectively navigate sam.gov right now. So everybody that's at sam.gov, if you there, tell me you there so I can keep it pushing. You there? Yeah. All right, y'all there? Everybody on sam.gov? All right, cool. You there yet? You there, man? Yeah. I'm going to wait for you then. Come on, I'm going to wait for you. I got 5 seconds for you. So while my man getting there to sam.gov, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I discriminate against, he need this, he need that. Go ahead, hook him up. I'm going to show you how I discriminate against solicitations, how I get rid of them, the ones that I key in on, the ones that I don't even worry about. So that's what we're going to go over now. Once he get his Wi-Fi together, he probably from Atlanta or something. I don't know where he's from. Now I'm messing with him. So what we're going to do is, what I like to do is I like to go over service-based solicitations and not product-based solicitations. And as we go through the actual sam.gov, you're going to see why. Service-based solicitations bring you residual income, because when you get a service done month after month after month, guess what's happening? You're creating residual income. You're getting those streams of income that people talk about for work that you did a long time ago for the next 3 to 4 to 5 years. So I build my contracts off of service base. Now, if I go for a product-based solicitation, that's a one-hitter quitter. After I deliver the product to the federal government and they give me my check, that's it. Now, guess what I'm back doing? I'm back on the hunt. I'm back hustling. The name of the game is to not hustle. The name of the game is to be wherever you are, enjoying your lifestyle, enjoying what you saying? Time freedom. Everybody wants time freedom. That sounds sexy, cool, but how you gonna get there? One of the ways to get there with the federal government is to build service-based contracts as your base. So we're gonna always look for service-based contracts. Everything other than that, we're not gonna worry about product-based contracts just yet. And everybody knows the difference between a product-based and a service-based, right? So products are pencils, pens, iPads, laptops, water bottles, windows, nuts and bolts. Those are considered product-based solicitations, right? Service-based solicitations are these: janitorial, construction, I don't know, IT services, security. Those would be considered service-based solicitations, and also what I like to call low-hanging fruit. All right, main man, you ready? My man. So everybody on sam.gov, I want everybody to click on the search button first. Click on the search button. All right, everybody click on the search button. Let me see yours. Let me view yours a little bit too. Okay, cool. Now, when everybody click on the search button, once you click on it, oh, what you got going on here? What's that? Okay, cool, you did. All right. This is a brand new computer. All right, so now when you click on the search button, scroll down for me a little bit. I want everybody to scroll down, and I'm gonna go to this entity side real quick. Come on, young lady. All right, here we go. Scroll down for me real quick. Okay, cool. Up a little bit. All right. Here, click this. Click that right there. All right. Now, everybody see that they have the green button selected as active, right? We're always gonna leave it active. Most people ask me, why do I have to click that? Why do I have to have that green button clicked active? I don't know. Just leave it green. I have no answer for you. Y'all gonna notice my famous 3 words is I don't know, and I'm not afraid to say I don't know. So leave it green. That's the first thing. Now come down. Where's your highlight this again? Service reporting. Yours look a little different than what I'm used to. It's new. All right. Go ahead. Click this. These buttons is hard.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize to me. All right. All registration is click green. Okay. This different. Yours is different. Yours set up different. Let me go ahead. All right. Let's start all over. Hold on. Everybody go back to sam.gov. We're going to start all over. Yeah, go to home for me. Can I do it from this computer right here? Will it mess up the thing right there? Okay, cool. Don't worry about it. Look, I got you. Don't even worry about it. But I appreciate your assistance, though. All right. sam.gov, everybody there, everybody waiting on me. Here we go. The search button is the first thing. After the search button, what we want to do is go down to all domains. Everybody see all domains highlighted in blue. All domains. Huh? Yeah, I got it up right here. No, I got it up on mine. No, it's all good. Everybody go click on all domains. After all domains, everybody click on contract opportunities. Everybody click on contract opportunities. All right? I'm going to do it twice. After you click on contract opportunities, that green button that's click active, leave it there, and then you're going to click the green button that says inactive. After you click the green button that says inactive, you should see a bunch of solicitations come up. You should see 4.2 million results. I think some people think I be lying when I'm on my IG and I say, yo, it's 96,000 contract opportunities, not a month, but every single day. Now, somebody might ask me, why do we got to click on the inactive button? I don't know. It's going to bring up everything in its totality. And I want you to see everything as a whole and not filter, because here's the thing. We're going to always leave money on the table. Why? Because we're bidding. When you're bidding, you're automatically leaving money on the table. Everybody understands that, okay? If you don't, now you know. So I want everybody to see all the solicitations, and I'm going to teach you how to properly discriminate, because we're going after what type of solicitations? Service-based and not the product. All right, so now that you have all the opportunities here, so your sort by, that's to the right. Everybody that sees sort by, everybody sees sort by in here? Sort by, it should say updated date. Okay, cool. Now, if you look to the right, you'll see a gray box that says contract opportunities. I can't make it no more easier than this. When you see contract opportunities, we're going to look for solicitations that's no further away than 2 weeks from the day that you see it. That's no further away than 2 weeks from the day that you see it. So what's today's date? March the 17th. Are we looking for opportunities in June the 17th? Are we looking for opportunities in December the 17th? There's a reason why. It's 2 reasons why we only look for opportunities that's 2 weeks away from the date that we see it. Number one, if you give people time, guess what they're going to do with the time? They're going to eat it up. They're going to take all the time that they need and then all the way up into the last minute, and now they can't submit that proposal. So if you give people time, they're going to use it. So if you find a solicitation that's no further away than 2 weeks from today than you find it, that's going to light a fire on your rear end because you got to get going. You don't got time to waste. And that was one of the things that I used to do. I used to waste time. That's the first thing. The second thing is this. When you look for opportunities further away outside of 2 weeks, it's been my personal experience that the federal government will reallocate those funds to another solicitation. So what happens is you will lose time and effort because you worked on the solicitation in January thinking you need all this time. And then when June, and then when June comes around, guess what happens? They reallocated that money towards another solicitation and they canceled yours. So we only look for solicitations that's no further away than 2 weeks. Now, I know it's a genius sitting at home saying, but what if it's 2 weeks in a day? What if it's that? I'm telling you, no further away than 2 weeks. Stick to the script. Don't put oregano in my sauce because I ain't got no oregano in my sauce. Don't put no oregano in there. All right, here we go. So that's the first thing we do, no further than 2 weeks away. The next thing we do, everybody pay attention to the notice type. This notice type says updated combined synopsis solicitation. If it got / solicitation, that means it's money, it's bread, it's time to work. We're going to work it. So outside the date, now we're going to pay attention to the notice type. So it's important to understand if it says updated combined synopsis solicitation, we are going to work that. We're going to actively work that type of solicitation. That's the first one. But there are several types of notice types. So you're going to see them that says updated combined synopsis solicitation, updated solicitation. If you see any of those, we're working it. That's green light. That means that has money. That means the federal government is ready to award that contract to a company like ours. All right? We got that? Yes. Okay, cool. The next type of notice type is this. You will see something that says pre-solicitation, and I'm going to tell you what that means. So if you're writing it down, cool. If you're a slow writer, hurry up. All right. Pre-solicitation means this. That means the federal government is almost ready to allocate money towards that solicitation, but it ain't no bread yet. So we ain't actively working it. One of the things that we can do is what's called express interest. So we can express interest. And the way you express interest is by saying, Jason White LLC would like to express interest in said solicitation. That's all that's it. So we're not actively looking for companies. We're not actively looking for quotes, and we're not submitting any proposals. That's pre-solicitation. Everybody got that? All right. So now we're going to move on to the next type of notice type, which you'll see what's called sole source. That's not sole source. I'm sorry. It's called not sole. Sole source is what my company is. And sole source is just the federal government just calls me for solicitations and I no longer have to bid. That's what sole source is. Yep, so I'm going to go over that one too. But I want to talk about real quick original sources sought. So when you see original sources sought, it's really no money into that one. Original sources sought is extremely this. The federal government is doing market research on their own and there's no money allocated towards it. So we cannot actively put a proposal in on that either. All we can do is express interest. Now, here's the caveat to express interest. When that solicitation has money allocated towards it, because your company expressed interest, they're going to hit you first. They're going to say, hey, Jay White, back in January, we noticed that you expressed interest in the solicitation. We got money. What you trying to do? And you already know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put in a proposal for it. I'm going to actively work it. So those are the advantages that you get when you express interest for pre-solicitation and sources sought. All right? Now, all I'm doing is going over notice types because right underneath the date, you're going to see notice type. And I'm trying to give you a way so you can operate in speed and precision because we're not the only people looking at these solicitations, right? It's 96,000 of them. It's no competition, but we want to make sure we're operating in speed and precision so you're not on this website for 10 and 12 hours just trying to look for 1 or 2 proposals to submit. That's crazy. I've never done that, and I don't want you to do it either. All right. So the next notice type somebody asked me about was this one. I'm gonna scroll up, and it was called original special notice.
So do this.
Yep.
Or ask if they kind of want to see it.
Yeah.
Get as much on the TV as possible.
Yeah.
Get out the full screen of it.
Somebody want me slow down, man. That's crazy. You want me slow down so you can catch up? All right. So I'm out the full screen of it.
All right. Why is it not? Why is it doing it? Why is it still showing it?
I'm in it. I'm on it. So look. Everybody do this. Everybody that's trying to follow along right now, this is what I want you to do. The two solicitations that I spoke about, go from the top. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. If you go 1, 2, 3, 4 from the top, you'll see the notice type says original special notice. And if you see that, just put a comment, say I see it. If you don't see it, you probably was on the slow yellow cheese bus like I just was just now, right? Like I just was just now. All right, cool. But if you go forward down, you will see original special notice. Everybody see that? Is everybody saying they see it? Is a delay? Cool, no problem. So original special notice means this. The federal government already intends to award that to another company. You can't do nothing about it. All you can do is hope and wish. So when it's original special notice, you can't actively work it. You can't put a proposal on it. They already intend to award that to the federal government. I mean, to another company like mine or like yours in the future. All right. So that's the 4th spot down. Now, from the 4th spot down, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go down another 4. And that's when you'll see why I was talking about the notice type that says original sources sought. All right. So everybody, when you see that, let my man know that you can see that 1, 2. And then I'm going to move on from the notice type to talk about the updated dates. All right. So everybody saying they can see that joint. Cool. No problem. Even if it's delayed, everybody catch up. All right. So it's important to understand when you go to sam.gov and you go through the process, and if anybody wants me to go through the process again on how we got to all these solicitations, I will quickly do that because I want everybody to understand that we operate in speed and precision. So once everybody can see original sources sought, I'm going to go back through the process again from the very beginning so we can see how we can get to these solicitations and then how I properly discriminate. And then we can go over the nitty gritty, the service-based solicitations. All right. So I'm going to start over all over again. So everybody do it again because I want you to know it like this. I want you to know it like the back of your hand. So go back to sam.gov from the very beginning, the home page. Then we're clicking on search. From search, we're clicking on all domains. From all domains, we're clicking on contract opportunities. From contract opportunities, we're scrolling down just a little bit. We're scrolling. Scroll. Y'all hear that? Scroll. And then we're clicking on inactive. We're clicking on the inactive button. Don't ask me why. I don't have a clue. We just click the button. All right, that's green. Then when you scroll back up, they'll get all your opportunities right there. 4.2 million. Now, there are some inactive solicitations in there, but when it says inactive, what does that mean? It's common sense. If it says inactive, what does that mean? Just scroll past, you can't do nothing with it. I promise you somebody at the crib saying, but what if it says inactive? I bet you that. All right. So now after we get back to all our solicitations, now we start to look at the right side, which is that gray box that says contract opportunities, and we start to look at the dates, and we don't look at solicitations no further than how many weeks out? 2 weeks. And what's the purpose of that though? Time and what else?
They might change it and give it back to somebody.
There you go. They might reallocate the bread. That's the most important thing, right? Because then that equals you kind of messing with your time, all right? So now after that, we start to look at what? After the date, cool, we got that. It meets our criteria. What would you look at after that? The notice types. And what's the notice types that got money allocated towards? Just yell it out. I don't care what you say. Original solicitation. Updated solicitation. Updated combined synopsis solicitation. Those notice types mean it's time to actively work the solicitation. All right. So once you see that, now Here's the crazy part. I know the title, the hyperlink that's in blue is biggest day. And I know your eyes are gonna instantly start to look at that when you look at all these contract opportunities. But I'm trying to show you how you don't waste your time by looking at something that might says lawn care services and then it's due in August. Or lawn care services and then it's a original special notice type. So I'm trying to help you save time so you can operate in speed and precision. Now, I'm going to work one of these solicitations right now so we can go over, once you actually click on one of them, what else we should be looking at as we go into the actual solicitation. All right, so I'm gonna find one real quick that meets our criteria. Our criteria are the dates and the solicitation type. Now, if you don't find the solicitation, I'm going to give you what's called the notice ID number. So don't trip. I'm gonna give you what's called the notice ID number. From the very top, everybody count down 1, 2, actually, the second one. So from the top, 1, 2. So we're gonna work this one that says base operation support services at Naval Support Facility. Somewhere in Poland. All right, somewhere over there in Poland. Cool, no problem. Now, this is just for training purposes, but this one is due April the 15th. Will we actually work that? It's due April the 15th. Will we work that? Right, we wouldn't work it. That's almost 30 days away. We're not working that. But for training purposes, we're going to go into this one right here. Jose, do me a favor. Let me know if everybody is on the one that I mentioned or if they having issues so I can give them a notice ID so they can find it. So follow on. You don't see that one? Okay, no problem. If you don't find the one that I'm referencing, I want everybody to be on the same page. So I'm going to give what's called the notice ID. So go to your search button on the website and you're going to type these letters and numbers in. Y'all ready? All right. N as in Nancy. The number 6. The number 2. The number 4. 7. 0. 2. 1. R as in Romeo. 0. 0. 0. 2. You'll see it says base operation support services at Naval Support Facility. And if you need me to repeat it, let me do it again. All right. So the note, you're going to go to search button and you're going to type these numbers in. N is in Nancy. The number 6, 2, 4, 7, 0, 2, 1. R is in Romeo. 0, 0, 0, 2. All right. If you got me, say I got you. All right, bet.
One more time. I'm gonna type it this time.
God damn. All right, here we go. Here we go. Everybody on the slow button. All right. N is in Nancy. 6, 2, 4, 7, 0, 2, 1. R is in Romeo. 0, 0, 0, 2. Everybody got it? I bet. Now, it's important to notice once everything has met our criteria and we jump into a solicitation, the first thing we want to do is record that notice ID number. That's the first thing we want to do. Take a screenshot of it, write it down. I don't know. You have to record that notice ID number because this website, sam.gov, is crazy. So if you try to go back to it based off of the title, you may or may not find it. But if you record the notice ID number, you're good. Sean, do me a favor. Throw me one of them water. I can catch. Don't worry about it. I can catch. Sure. Yes, sir, 100%. All right, bet. Boom. All right, so that's the first thing you want to do. You want to record that notice ID number. All right. The second thing you want to do is now we're going to look under what's called general information. All right. So on this one, you got changes. So everybody click on the view changes button. And you'll see some stuff being crossed out. Everybody see that? Under general information, all we're doing is this. We're just making sure that the information we saw on the outside before we clicked in matches. So look at the contract opportunity type. Does it still say solicitation? We're only going to look at the original date offers due. This is important because you see a whole bunch of other information underneath contract opportunity, but we only want to pay attention to original date offers due. Don't pay attention to the other dates. It's going to get you crossed up. I don't know who played basketball out there, but it's going to get you crossed up. So just pay attention to original date offers due. And for all purposes, this one actually says March the 15th. And then if you look above it, you see updated date offers due, because when we click view changes, it changed. And now you'll see that it matches the date on the outside, which was what? April the 15th. Everybody see that, right? So we only want to pay attention to those dates to make sure it matches. After that, we don't pay attention to anything else under general information. All right, I'm gonna help.
So it's okay to look at updated as long as it's on top of original date.
As long as it's updated.
Okay.
It's okay to look at updated as long as it's updated. If it ain't updated, we don't care nothing about it. All right, now we want to move down to classification. All right, we want to pay attention to classification. Now, under classification, we only looking for two things. The original set-aside. Everybody know what original set-aside is? If you don't, I'm gonna end up telling you anyway, but everybody know what original set-aside is. Those things that are the woman-owned, the minority-owned, the hubs-owned, the 8A, the service-disabled veteran-owned. Those are, you will see those in this section called original set-aside. Your social economic disadvantaged group. That's what they call us. That's crazy. But that's what they call us though. So in that section right here, because I teach everybody how to understand the process on winning and bidding on contracts without your social economic status, we want to make sure it's either blank or it says total small business. Total small business is given to us by the federal government. We don't got to do no paperwork for it. We don't got to go to no meetings for it. We automatically get what's called total small business. So in that original set aside, it's either we looking for blank or it says total small business. Sometimes you'll see small business too. All right. So under classification, we're only looking for that. And then we're looking for place of performance. Why is that important? Why is place of performance important? Because that's what we doing at work. Well, not us, somebody else. So if it's in California, let's get my mind right to do what? Call companies where? If it's in Maryland, it's getting my mind right to call companies where? Out in Maryland. So it's important to understand the place of performance. Now, don't get crazy or alarmed if it's blank. But Jay White told me, look there, if it's blank, guess what? You just got to do a little bit more reading. Reading is fundamental. Now, you see the NICS codes there. Let me go over this real quick. We don't care about NICS codes. I'm looking at you. You, and you, and you, and you. We don't care nothing about the NICS codes. Why? Because the federal government don't care about the NICS codes neither. I don't care who told you what. They don't care about them. The NICS codes are just an industry identifier. That's all. It's saying, okay, the janitorial business is labeled under this NICS code. The facilities support services NICS code is that. You don't have to pre-populate NICS codes in your registration. The federal government does this. Here's my little cheat code. When you know you're about to win a federal government contract, guess what's going to happen? They're going to say, hey, Mr. White, we noticed you don't have this NICS code updated in your registration. Guess what that lets me know? I'm finna win. I'm finna win a federal government contract. Okay, cool. You telling me without telling me to go do what? Go update it. So I'm going to go add it so I can be awarded that federal government contract. All right? So scroll right on past the NICS code. We don't care about it. So far, what we've done is when we actually locate a solicitation that we want to work, we record what first? The notice ID number first and foremost. The second thing we do is this. We go over the general information. And we only looking at the contract opportunity type and the updated date offers due or original date offers due. All right, you feel me? After that, we're looking at classification. All right? And we're only looking at original set aside and place of performance. Now, peep game. This is the part where everybody act like they know what's up. Because check this out. I'm going to scroll all past those documents. We don't need them right now. I'm scrolling all the way past those. And I'm going all the way down to contact information. Now, if you didn't know, I'm from Virginia. 2 up, 2 down. I'm from VA. This lady right here, office, is in Norfolk, Virginia. Back in the day, I probably pull up to the office and say, what's up, I'm here. But you can't do that no more, right? You can't pull up on people no more. Now, It's important to know why we go from classification straight down to the contact information. Anybody in here take a guess? Why do we do that? It's time to build rapport. It's time to build rapport. This is how old I am. I was that dude that used to go into restaurants like Hardee's, grocery stores like Winn-Dixie, Super Fresh, and I would fill out a paper application. Take my paper application into the building and say, hey, I need to speak to the hiring manager. I ain't giving it straight to any bloop representative that's there. I'm giving it to the hiring manager. Once I give it to the hiring manager, how you doing? My name is Jason White. I go to Booker T. Washington High School. I'm 16 years old. I'm giving myself my own interview right then and there. But guess what I'm doing? I'm separating myself from somebody to just pass their application along. And that's what we're doing when we reach out to the point of contact, primary or secondary. We're separating ourselves because we're instantly building rapport. I'm not introducing myself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them what I like to call a fishing question. I'm going to throw some fish out there. I'm going to throw some bait. Because if I ask you a question, guess what you're doing? You're going to answer it. When you answer it, guess what we got going on? A conversation. Tighten up. We got a conversation going on. I ask you something, you answer it, we got a conversation. So write my fishing question down. How would you like your proposal to be submitted? That's my fishing question. Why am I asking a question like that? Because I know through my experience, the primary point of contact really don't know the ins and outs about the solicitation. They really don't know the nuts and bolts of it. They just know the paperwork side of it. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to act intelligently and ask paperwork questions to the primary point of contact. How would you like your proposal to be submitted? Straight like that. And when they answer me back, now everybody pay attention to this one right here. Susan McKenzie has no phone number. So I'm telling y'all to call, but it's no number. So we got to write an email. When I email Miss McKenzie and she emails me back, guess what's probably in her subject line? Her phone number. And she dead. I'm picking up the phone and I'm calling her because she dead. I want you to hear my voice. I want you to hear how excited I am. I want you to recognize that I'm different than anybody else that's submitting that proposal, regardless if their numbers and paperwork are better than mine. Oh, this Jay White. I just spoke to him yesterday on the phone. Oh, this Jay White, he just emailed me. I get those type of conversations all the time. So the first thing we're going to do after we get through the classification is we're going to make sure that we email Susan McKenzie that fishing question and peep game. We're going to add the secondary point of contact to that email. Now, most people, when they do the emails, they do, the to and the CC, right? The CC is so disrespectful. The carbon copy is so disrespectful. So we putting everybody on the to because I want Matthew to feel just as important as Susan. I'm emailing Susan, but I want Matthew to know it's going to him too. Because guess what? If Susan don't answer, guess who actually read it because he thought it was to him too? Come on, it's strategic. I'm sending it to Matthew. All right, here's another little tip. The secondary point of contact is actually the boss of the primary point of contact. So I'm including Susan's boss, Matthew. Because if Susan don't holler at me, Matthew, peep game, you sure I'll try to reach out to Susan. Susan ain't rapping with me. What we doing? All right? So communication is the first thing, one of the first things we're going to actively start to do when we like a solicitation. All right? Any questions in here? We good so far? We good? All right, cool. You had a question, good? My man. All right, so now we will scroll up and start to look at documentation. Now, this solicitation we on, it got a lot of documents. It got a lot. Here's where most people fail. They like, man, it's too many documents. I'm overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know which one to look at first. All right, here we go. We're only looking for 3 sections. Everybody sees how many documents it is. It's a lot. I'm still scrolling. I'm talking about from March 17th to March 3rd to February 24th to January 26th to, good gracious. Yeah, all right. All those documents, we're only looking for 3. Everybody get ready to write this down. It's only 3 sections that's important to us as middlemen or women. All right? It's scope of work, SOW, or you'll see it come across as performance work statement, PWS. So scope of work or performance work statement or PWS. That's the first thing. Anybody know what that is? Just take a guess. Scope of work. Federal government, what you asking me for? What's the job entail? What are you actually requiring from me so I can articulate that to my subcontractor? I never want to read the scope of work. This is for everybody. We never want to read the scope of work for our own understanding. We don't need to understand it. I don't need to understand what they're doing. I need to be able to effectively articulate that to the company that's actually doing the work. So I'm not reading it to understand it. I'm reading it so I can get the vernacular right. So when I jump on the phone, I got it still in front of me. I still got it in front of me, but I'm able to flow a little bit better and articulate it. That's the purpose of reading the scope of work, to articulate it, not to understand it. The next thing we're looking for is a section called the pricing sheet, or you see it as pricing schedule. All right, everybody got that? Pricing sheet or pricing schedule. Now, what we think that's for? All right, almost. Anybody else? Pricing sheet or pricing schedule? Almost. What'd you say? Yep. That's the template that we're using to bid. That's the template that we're using to just put the number, plug and play. We just put numbers in there. So if we got a quote from our subcontractor for 10 racks, $10,000, boom, we put our 5,000 on top of it. We're going to put into that slot how much? 15,000. That's my proposal to the federal government, and that's what we putting into that pricing sheet or pricing schedule. All right, boom. The third and last section that we're looking for is called instructions to offerers. Instructions to offerers. Now, anybody want to take a guess what that section is about? Instructions to offerers. Now, our company is the who? Is the offerers. We're the ones offering to submit a proposal to the federal government. Instructions to us, right? Now, take a guess. What does that section mean? Let's take a quick guess.
Follow these instructions.
Okay. All right. People ask me all the time, Jay White, have you never hired a proposal writer? And I tell them, hell no. I don't need a proposal writer because the instructions to offers is going to tell me which documents I need to submit to create my proposal. That's why I love the federal side. I don't deal with the state. I don't deal with the local. I deal with the federal because that section right there is going to outline and itemize what documents I actually need to submit. But where am I getting the documents from? My subcontractor.
Oh, okay.
I ain't pulling them. I can't pull them out my rear end. I don't know how to do the work. I told you I'm the best echo. The federal government is asking me through that section what documents I need. Cool. Hey, James Earl LLC, I need these documents. And they gonna, with a deep voice, he gonna give them back to me. You know what I'm saying? So that section is vital because that's what we're gonna be able to use to submit our proposal. Okay, so the three sections are what?
SOW, scope of work,
Which is what? What is the scope of work? What is it?
requirements for the job.
All right, requirements for what are we actually doing? So if it's a lawn care company, we're breaking down what is needed to cut the grass out here at this facility. That's going to tell you in the scope of work. And we're not looking at the scope of work for us to understand it, right?
Articulation.
To articulate it to the sub, because I really don't want to learn it. I don't care what it is. IT services is difficult. When you start to look at some of those solicitations, there's a lot of little words in there that I don't really care about. But on the other end of that phone, he or she better care about it because I'm telling them what it is. And if they don't know, everybody got a BS radar. Everybody can tell when you're being BS. And I just get off the phone with them. All right, so that's the scope of work of PWS. What's the next section that we look for? And what's the pricing sheet? It's the template that we use to plug and play our numbers into. And the last section is what? And what's that? What's the instructions to offer section do? Get them documents. Hey, James Earl LLC, I need this, this, and this. But I need it yesterday. Give it back to me. And then they give it back to you, and then you do what? You submit it to the federal government. Here's the best thing about this. And I say this all the time, and people really don't understand what I mean by this. The federal government will allow me to assume a company's licenses, certifications, and insurance. I don't have to have insurance. I don't have to have licenses. I don't have to have certification. Because if that's a requirement, then that company better have that license. That company better have that certification. That company better have that insurance. Everybody understand that? So, and if that company doesn't have it, what y'all think I'm doing? On to the next. Now, people ask me this too. Now, I'm trying to get into the nitty gritty of what we doing because I'm gonna break down making these calls in a little bit. Now, people ask me too, where do I find these subcontractors at? How do I find them? Is it my network? Do you got people in your network? So remember, I started in 2008 at the gas station. How big was my network with people that had businesses? Because if they had a business, I would work for them and not at the gas station, even though the gas station was a little good to your boy. Pump 2 didn't work. I sold a little something on Pump 2. But anyway, so I want everybody to understand you personally don't have to have a network because you can use my best friend. Everybody write my best friend down. It's called Google. You're just going to Google companies in those place of performances where the place of performance is going to take place. So if it's in Burbank, California, and I need a landscaping company, I'm calling companies in Burbank, California. Right or wrong? If it's in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, I'm going to call companies in Atlanta, Georgia to get the work done for me. And I'm going to go over some information with them. So you don't have to necessarily have a network. You just got to have good Wi-Fi so you can get on Google and make these calls and look for these companies. All right. The process is this. Now that we know what the scope of work is, now that we've identified and reached out to the contract specialist because we started to build that rapport by asking what? What do we ask? Right, we threw that bait out there. We asked that fishing question. Now that we've done that, now that we've identified the instructions to offers, now we're going to pick the phone up and start making these phone calls to these subcontractors. Here's what people always blow it because most people come from corporate America and they want to get on the phone and say, hi, my name is Jason White and the name of my company is such and such. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. When your plumbing go down in your crib and you got water splashing all over the place and you call a plumber, when you get on the phone, do you introduce yourself? You say, yo, I need you here and how much you charging me? That's the same mindset. How much can you do the job for? No, can you do the job and how much you charging me? That's the mindset. However you navigate to that, you have to use your own personality. You can't use mine. Everybody understand that? Can you do the job and how much you charge me? And also, too, when you first pick up the phone, we not talking to second in command. I'm not talking to nobody's secretary. Why is that? There you go. They can't make decisions. And then, too, all secretary do is mess up a message, in my experience. They always mess it up. Anybody ever been to a comedy show and your significant other or spouse didn't go with you, and you heard the funniest joke in your life, you carry your silly ass back home and you try to tell the same joke. And they gonna be like, they just looking at you like, huh? They say, I guess I had to be there because you messed the whole punchline up. The secretary gonna do the same thing when they talk to the boss. They gonna be like, I think it was somebody on the phone with a government contract. And they like, nah, I'm good. They gonna mess it up for you. So you wanna speak to the HNIC of that company. I'm gonna break this down for you too. We typically don't call large companies or corporations. Does anybody know why we typically do not call large companies or large corporations? Why is that? I can't talk to the boss of Home Depot. I can't talk to the boss of Apple. I can't talk to the boss of, I don't know. You can't talk to the boss of large corporations. You got to talk to their area representative or their sales representative. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I can talk to a mom and pop, guess what I'm getting? I'm getting to talk to the boss, and I'm probably going to get a better price. And what does that do for me? That helps me with my margins where I can put more money on top, and now I can make more money. So when you start to make your phone calls, don't make the mistake most people make calling big corporations, trying to figure out why you can't talk to the boss. You can't talk to the boss because he's busy. He don't want to talk to you. But a small company, they want to talk to you, they want to do business with you, and they need that business 9 times out of 10. All right? So we talking to the HNIC, and the first thing I'm saying is this. Everybody write this down. This is something that I say. Now, this is not a script, but I say this every single time. Now, you got to say it with your own sauce, and you got to say it with a little bit of, I guess, confidence and authority. Y'all ready? Who can I speak to get a quote for such and such services at, and then you name the facility? Who can I speak to get a quote for such and such services at, and then you name the facility? Now, naming the facility might be giving the facility's address. And how do you know this information? Because you read the scope of work to articulate it to the people that's on the phone. I'm going to make it simple for you. I know somebody else made it hard. I know somebody else made it like you got to do this and this and this. Nah, this is how you do it. And this is how you get to the money. Who can I speak to get a quote for such and such services at, and then you name the facility. And then you stop talking. You have to stop talking. Now it's time to let them talk. Because most people, as they continue to talk, guess what they're doing on the other end? People got 2 ears and 1 mouth. They're going to listen twice as much as they talking. So now they're going to start to listen to you, and you're going to give all this information. You're going to probably call yourself a government contractor. You're going to probably say you working for the government. You're going to probably say you working with the government. You damn sure going to probably say, I got a federal government contract. You don't have a federal government contract. Not yet. So the things that you want to say is not mentioning federal and not mentioning government contract, because that subcontractor will not have a government contract. Do y'all understand that? But why? Why won't that subcontractor have a federal government contract? Why is that? They work for me. They're going to have a service agreement on my federal government contract. So that's why when I get on the phone and everybody in here, y'all going to hear I talk to them, I don't mention the words federal and government contracting at all. Now, if the facility has federal in it, then cool. No problem. If the facility is Andrews Air Force Base, guess what the person on the other end should be doing? Putting two together. Oh, that's a government contract. That's at a government facility. And now they should know I need to work with this individual. Everybody understand that? Okay, cool. So when you're making calls, you need to make as many calls as possible to get 3 quotes. That might be 3 calls. That might be 5 calls. That might be 35 calls. But you need to make as many phone calls as you need to get at least 3 quotes. Why am I looking for 3 quotes? Yep. And what else? Well, expand on that. He said to compare and contrast, but expand on that a little bit.
Because you don't want to pick the highest number, but you don't want to pick the lowest. Well, I guess you will want to pick the lowest.
All right.
Make some money on it.
Okay, because when we go house shopping, we don't just pick one house, right? When I go look for a pair of shoes, I don't just go to one website. Who got the best price? In our case, we need to find out who got the best price, lowest price, so I can do what? Put my money on top. Most people, when they ask me, hey, what percentage do you do? I don't do no percentages. What's 10% of 1,000? I'm shooting myself in the foot. Remember, I told y'all in front of the jump, we will always leave money where? On the table, because we're bidding. But so if you do percentages, we will always leave money on the table. And if you look at some stupid website, they give you what the contract value was from the last person that won, that's going to shoot you in the foot too. Because 5 years ago, what we're in the pandemic, ain't prices different now? Okay, cool. So if you look at yesteryear's prices and try to match it for the day, you done. I'm going to beat you and you lost. All right. So the best way to get current prices is call the companies that's currently doing the work. Call as many companies as you need to get 3 quotes. Everybody understand that? I don't care what it is. And then, yes, we're putting margins on top of the lowest quote. Put your money on top, send it on to the federal government. From the information that you found from the instructions to offers. Everybody understand that? All right, cool. Now I got to go back to my screen real quick. 1 second. I got to go back to my screen. Boom. Now, in a few minutes, everybody in here, I'm going to start to call. I'm going to call subcontractors first. So y'all can hear what that verbiage sound like. Then we are all going to call a subcontractor. But then more importantly, we're going to call the contract specialist too, so y'all can hear what that verbiage looks like and sound like, because that's where the gatekeeper is, right? If they on the other side, and so here's how the process works. When we submit our proposal to the contract specialist has to send our proposal to another level. It goes from that level to the customer. The customer is the federal government, but in certain instances, well, in all instances, is where the work is actually going to be done at. So the third level is the base or the proving grounds or wherever the work is being done at. It goes to that third level. But if I got to get my foot in the door, all right, check this out. This is how old I am too. I used to walk up to the club and man, I know I got my hat on. I know my jeans are baggy, but let me give you $50 to let me in here. Guess what I just did? I gave money to the gatekeeper to let me in. And I still had other stuff to do once I was in the club, right? I got to smell good for the ladies. I got to buy drinks, yada, yada, yada. So you got to think about it the same way. I'm going to get past the gatekeeper by my rapport, by my document, and by my pricing. Once I'm there, I'm going to start to elevate to the next level. Everybody understand that? So we're going to make phone calls to the subcontractors. We're going to make phone calls to the contract specialists. And then y'all will hear how I effectively talk and navigate through. But everybody that's there right now, I got my clicker. Results are not typical because I don't know you. I don't know nobody in here neither. I don't know your IQ level. That's not how smart you are. That's your I quit level. I don't know you, not your IQ level. I don't know how smart you are. I don't care about that. I don't know your I quit level. So you could get punched in the face right after this webinar is over and you can't get back up. I was motivated. I was excited. Light punch you in the face. Now you forgot all about federal government contract as a middle person. Results aren't typical. I can't tell you how long it's going to take for you to be awarded your first federal government contract. I can't tell nobody that. I can't tell you how much money you can make. I can tell you this. You need to be consistent. You need to be diligently working every single day. And you don't need to be motivated. You need to be driven. Because when life do punch you in the face, if you're driven and not motivated, you're going to get up off the ground and you're going to get back to it. If your bank account can't make you driven, then, and I can say, if you content with the money you got right now, then cool. But if you're not content, you need to be driven and get to it. So results are not typical. Don't ask me how long will it take me to win a government contract. How the hell I'm supposed to know? I don't know you. All right. So that's what I mean by results aren't typical. Boom. So, I thought I had something else on the clicker. Check this out. I have never done slides before a day in my life. I think the slides was cool. If y'all appreciate the slides, y'all let my man know that y'all appreciated the slides that I had for y'all and prepared for y'all today. Also, too, I want everybody to be encouraged. And about, what time is it? What time is it, 3:30? At 4:00 p.m., everybody go to thefederalcode.com. Because you joined this webinar today, I'm going to have a special sale for you. If you don't have the course, I'm going to look out for you. You don't need no discount code. You don't need to hit me up and say, is it starting yet? It's going to start at 4 p.m. Eastern, and I'm going to run it for 7 days because you might not be prepared for the sale today. But just because you rock with me today, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Because you're here, I got something special for you at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you got to do is go to thefederalcode.com, and you will see why I got a special sale for you on my course. And if you're ready to lock in, remember I told you, results aren't typical. I did have students that win contracts in 2 weeks. I did have students that win contracts in 2 months. I did have students that win contracts in 4 months. But it took me 3 years. I don't know if people really understand how long it took me to win a federal government contract. My first one, they gave me $125 a month. All right? So if you learned a lot or you learned a little bit, make sure you hit me up on my Instagram at @IamJasonWhite. Let me know what you learned. And if you want further continuing education, make sure you tap into that sale that I got that's starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. But for y'all at home, it's over. For everybody in here, we're going to keep getting to work. I'm Jay White, first name, last name.
Frick, are you kidding me?
Trapping all damn day, just flood my wrist, yeah, that's life. Can't never leave the crib unless you got that stick, yeah, that's life. She do a little strange for a little bit of change, that's life. Heard he lost his life for a little bit of fame, that's life. That's life, yeah, that's life. That's life, that's life. That's love.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
that's love. Yeah, that's love. Yeah, that's love. That's life, yeah, that's life. That's life, that's life. That's life,
Are you
yeah,
kidding me?
that's life. Yeah, that's life. Yeah, that's life.
Freak, are you kidding me?
Trapping all damn day, just flood my wrist, yeah, that's life. Can't never leave the crib unless you got that stick, yeah, that's life. She do a little strange for a little bit of change, that's life. Heard he lost his life for a little bit of fame, that's life. That's life, yeah, that's life. That's life, that's life. That's life, yeah, that's life. Yeah, that's life. Yeah, that's life.